Emmanuel Amunike has scored for Nigeria. Goal that wins the first ever footballing gold medal for Nigeria. Joshua,
to continue their impressive run to place Edo State in the continental map.
Toby Amazon, look at the clock. I cannot believe it. She's done it again. 2 world records in one night. And she makes history by becoming Nigeria's first world champion.
Alex Iwobi decides to go early. Chukwueze shapes the shoot, gets some space. It's Osimhen.
Yes, what an interesting week it's been in the ever-exciting world of sport with top stories making the rounds, and we are back and we are so excited. You want to say to be back on this super amazing platform to talk sports. The show is Sportsville. My name is Matthew Okugbe and the top guns are in the studio, Tony Ubani as well as Raymond, and together we are set to take you around the ever-exciting world of sports just the way you like it. Stories making the round. Just on Friday, we saw the Annual General Assembly 2024 edition of the Nigeria Football Federation went down in Asaba, Delta State, and a few results have been reached as far as Nigerian football is concerned going forward. Today on the platform, we'll be dissecting, be looking at ways forward, and not to forget, it is 2 years, just like yesterday, Ibrahim Gusso started his reign as president of the Nigeria Football Federation. In the course of the week, we saw him, he gave account of his stewardship, his first 2 years in office, and we hope he would be able to consolidate on some of the wins as we build up to subsequent endeavors. My name is Matthew Okugbe, and we are set to roll. Some guests are also lined up to join the show today. It promises to be a loaded package, and you sure want to be a part of this one.
Download OneXBet app and enjoy the variety of sports anytime, everywhere. OneXBet app at the heart of the game.
Yes, you're welcome back. If you just joined us, you haven't missed a beat. We are just getting started. Let's get to meet Tony Ubani.
Thank you so much, Matthew, and of course, welcome back. And congratulations for those who are just joining us.
Yes.
Matthew tied the knots, settling his home, getting married to the most beautiful girl, wife of his own. And indeed, he's back. Thank you so much. And Matthew, so much for us to talk about, especially the annual General Assembly of the Nigeria Football Federation. Call it Annual General Assembly. It's a ritual. It's something that they want to fulfill. Always there for them to fulfill the books for holding the Annual General Assembly. Not necessarily that is something that, pivots or shows anything that will indeed impact on football. It's just a ritual where they fulfill that the Annual General Assembly is held. And of course, it was held on Friday. And as it was, nothing especially for us to celebrate, or nothing especially that was done that will impact on Nigerian football. It was in the beginning, so it has always been.
Interesting. And on that note, let's get to meet Raymond. Raymond Aquari is also in the studio.
Yeah, nice to be here again for Sportsville. Let me join in congratulating you, Matthew Okugbe. You are now properly Mr. Matthew Okugbe. Yeah, nice to confirm you are married now.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. For the NFF, I would have preferred not to even talk about the NFF. I would have preferred to talk about the Super Eagles camp that is opening today. Definitely, we want to see who is ready, who is looking forward to Nigeria and Libya, hoping some seriousness will be there. But I know the NFF, they enjoy themselves in Asaba. You can't be sure. It's always fun being there. But my concern, can this NFF take us out of controversies? Can we get the real NFF that we dream of? Time shall tell.
Yes, you know what to expect from Raymond. Said to say it's just the way it is. Let's start with the big man himself, President of the Nigeria Football Federation, Ibrahim Gusau. 2 years in office, we saw him. He said a lot has been achieved under his leadership, and Nigerians definitely expect so much. We have a whole lot of panelists lined up on today's package to also give their thoughts as far as Gusau's performance in the last 2 years is concerned. Let me start with Tony Ubani. Tony, Ibrahim Gusau said, it's been a win, and Nigerians should celebrate what the NFF has been able to achieve under his leadership.
Congratulations. We all saw him, the annual General Assembly gave him a vote of confidence. And of course, everybody just said very sweet things that he wanted to hear, that he did so well. And I think doing well, at least he has been president for 2 years. I do not know what he has brought, to bear on Nigerian football, except that Nigeria has been going for competitions, which is exactly what we are known for now. For every president that comes, people just judge them with competitions and then qualifications. But then it is also on record that during his tenure that Nigeria is struggling even to qualify, for the World Cup and of course the Nations Cup. Things have not really been very rosy during his tenure. We saw the Super Eagles, lose the Nations Cup, to Cote d'Ivoire. And after that, Nigeria has been ridiculed severally, just in appointing a coach. We have seen so many other countries that appoint coaches, once a coach resigns or his contract expires a day or 2 days, but then it is not the same thing. So I do not know what they're celebrating about the 2 years that he has performed. 2 years indeed, and everything. There is absolutely nothing for anybody to talk about Nigerian football other than the fact, that we just go there, go for competitions and come back. And of course, estacos are taken, bonuses are paid, and then allowances are given. That's exactly what Nigerian football has turned out to be.
Raymond, developing the game from the grassroots should be one of the primary responsibility of the NFF. You want to judge Gusau's performance in his first 2 years. Some persons will tell you that they truly do not understand the trajectory of Ibrahim Gusau as far as Nigerian football is concerned.
Well, I don't know much about Ibrahim Gusau. I said it last week that I do not know much about this board of the Nigerian Football Federation. But I said what I would know them for is that this is the board that has, in the last 2 years, been searching for coach. But that is the primary objective of the NFF. Search for coach in January, search for coach in December. And perhaps the NFF is really having problems getting to articulate themselves in terms of development of Nigerian football. You remember when Amaju Pinnick was there as president of the NFF? Apparently, we were always saying that the NFF was getting coaches through him. It doesn't really consult anybody. He goes, he gets a coach he wants, and that is the coach for Nigeria. Whether we like it or not, it is the coach he brings that we get. And so now that Amaju is no more in the saddle, perhaps that's why they are struggling. And that's what I know the NFF for. I cannot remember them for anything serious in terms of planning. Remember the terrible time we had with the Randy Wardrum, the former coach of the Nigerian women team, the Falcons, the man coming out openly to say that some players were being forced on him, and really the man made sure that he did not listen to what those guys were telling him. He had that audacity of ignoring the NFF NFF most of the time. And the same NFF that has been, that modeled up in terms of, messed up the, Philip George saga. Let me not go into all of that. How they openly told Nigerians lies about Philip George. That's what I mean by there for, Matthew.
Yes, interesting. Tony, now let's talk about the annual General Assembly held in Asaba on Friday. There were so much expectations as football stakeholders were looking at some very key decisions will emanate from that meeting. But it was just like a gathering where people just went and just enjoyed themselves, and nothing truly concrete came out from that meeting.
Matthew, that's why I started with by calling it a ritual. It's a ritual that will come and go, and of course will be fulfilled. And that's exactly where people just go through banters and of course, solidify their positions on those who are going to be. Ordinarily, the annual General Assembly is the most powerful, where they make decisions, where they think about Nigerian football and of course talk about it, implement, say some things that definitely will change Nigerian football. One would have expected that during the annual General Assembly, the issue of a coach that has become a mirage for us, would have been discussed, and perhaps they would have also given Augustine Eguavoy, they have given him the backbone. Okay, let Eguavoy continue to be our substantive coach. Nothing like that was mentioned. Perhaps they are just moving it to the executive, and of course in the executive, we know that the executive has been the one that has been the problem with Nigerian football, because they do not take decisions there. One or two persons are the ones that we all know as executives, and those who are supposed to supervise, those who are supposed to ask a lot of questions, are those who go there, just for what perhaps they get, because it's purely political. I've attended so many of the AGAs, and indeed, Matthew, one would have expected that after the AGA now, we will not be breaking down. This is exactly what these people have done. This is the line that Nigerian football will follow in. This is what they are going to do. This is what we will achieve. But as it was, Matthew, absolutely banters, and of course, the governor of Delta State, just told them, that indeed Asaba is green.
Enjoy yourselves.
Enjoy themselves, and of course, nobody goes to Asaba and comes back the same.
Wow, we hope we get it right someday. At the other side of the show, two top individuals, personalities you want to listen to as far as Nigerian football is concerned. We'll be joined by Dr. Mitchell Obi, former AIPS president, as well as a one-time chairman of Gombe State Football Association, Ahmed Gara Gombe. They will be joining us at the other side to also share their thoughts as far as Gusau's 2 years in office is concerned.
Download OneXBet app and enjoy the variety of sports anytime, anywhere. OneXBet app at the heart of the game.
Yes, you're welcome back. The show is still Sportsville, and we have live with us at this time former AIPS president Mitchell Obi, the master himself. The master, a pleasure to have you join us on the show.
Never really late to toast to our independence. 64 years after, we are now still looking like newborn babies. Perhaps that's what some of us have thought we are, still in our nappies. But 64 years is quite an age for a country. And I can say happy or belated happy independence to your team. And indeed, all of you who have continued to do what I call a labor of love.
Yes, a quick one. 2 years for Ibrahim Gusau as president of the Nigeria Football Federation. What will you make of his first 24 months as the gaffer of Nigerian football, especially at that level?
You know, as we say sometimes, the second half is the most critical half in a game. even the second leg is the one that decides whether even on aggregate or on a knockout level. You find that the second half is the one that tells the true story. The first half perhaps is like sizing up, knowing your opponents, perhaps taking the kind of lead that may make you comfortable in the second half. But critically, the second half is where you can really do a thorough assessment. For now, we can only say that the honeymoon is over for Ibrahim Gusau, who came in on September 30th. And of course, it's only good to think that they are still going back to the South, where he got the mandate to hold their AGM. Perhaps the breeze from that area is warming up well for him, and he needs to get inspiration from there. And so you find out 2 years of Ibrahim Gusau. What is it? I can say that it's time for us to look at the hangover of the past dispensation, which has left him. He's gradually got over the hangover because some of the successes he may have counted as his attainments may not be entirely his because there were overlaps, and some would call it overflow of the past dispensation for which he was an active participant. Indeed, he was the chairman of chairmen in that dispensation. Of course, also a chairman of a critical committee, the security committee, and many people saw him as being a real effective part of that dispensation. And now we want to see an Ibrahim Gusau dispensation, which is clearly distinct. And we believe that he has done the homework. He has tried to refit, or some will say he has tried to go to the factory fitting of how to manage football in Nigeria. We are happy that the secondary school competition, which some of us shouted for so long, they have started taking part, a competition that really provides good money for all those who take part. We are happy that the Challenge Cup, the most glamorous, the oldest competition, has been retouched. It's now called the President Federations Cup. Everybody wants to be part of it, both the ministry and the federation. And we are happy that the league has given good leverage and good opportunities to the managers of the league, which he didn't appoint in the first place. The first time we had this league dispensation under Benga Elegbeleye Honorable, it was from the old dispensation. But now he has taken full control. He's giving them the leeway and, of course, the liberty, and they are performing. And when the game is alive at home, you can be sure you have a steady thinking to get it right at the top.
Yes, Mitchell, on Friday we saw the annual General Assembly of the NFF in Asaba, Delta State, but that aside, because truly there were no key decisions made as far as that gathering is concerned. Let's talk about the statutes of the Nigeria Football Federation. There have been calls for the unbundling of the statutes of the NFF to accommodate more individuals, especially when it comes to the voting Congress. What will you make of this, and what should Ibrahim Gusau do as at this time, especially listening to the yearnings of football stakeholders in Nigeria?
Very, very pertinent observation there. And I think when you talk of inclusivity, this NFF dispensation we have seen is one that needs to go beyond what we have had in the past. And that's why we've had cases in the courts. The Players Union and the other stakeholders have had cause to go to court to ask to be fully included. Look at the Congress. Indeed, to become president of a Nigerian Football Federation, you also need to get the backing of FA chairman, and you are president, which is not right. They don't even reflect all the tendencies of the game. Indeed, they don't reflect the critical tendencies of the game. And that's why the Congress needs to be expanded. The Congress needs to include some other critical stakeholders. Indeed, the club owners are saying that where is their place even in the Congress? They are the ones who really can turn the football into big business. But do they have a place in the Congress? The players are saying that they can't even have one vote, whereas state chairmen, who some states do not even organize a club, I want to be the voting power in football issues. That is not right. I think Gusau has the chance, the opportunity, but I think they've given their word, and the sports minister has insisted that they need to expand their horizon. They need to get those who have been aggrieved over time to be part of the football power, be part of the football ecosystem, be part of the football congress, not limiting it to just 36 FA chairmen, and they form a clique. Once you are chairman of chairmen, you can aspire to become president of Nigerian football. You narrow even the scope. Outsiders cannot even find a place. Whereas they say they want to get the public to be part of supporting the game. How do you support the game when you can't even see a future? When the aspirational trust is absent. Even for former players, they don't have a way to balance their thoughts. If they decide to go even into administration, where will they end up? Can we see, for instance, a Nwankwo Kanu who is chairman of AIMBA thinking about becoming president of Nigerian Football Federation? The route will be so long, except he has the support of the states, and that shouldn't be right. Football stakeholders on their own merit should be part of the football firmament.
Yes, interesting conversation with our former AIPS president, Dr. Michel Obi. Michel, thank you very much. Incisive as always. We are immensely grateful for your time on the show.
Sometimes you can't do the job well except you are ready to let it go. And haven't done the job, let your legacy speak. That's why we say that the Football Federation should remember that there will come a time where we'll sit back to look at what they have done. And they have to start the work now. After 2 years, the honeymoon is totally over. And for Ibrahim Gusau, if he needs a second term, even though we say failure can elicit a repeat, but here failure, we only look at the exit door.
Download OneXpress app and enjoy the variety of sports anytime, anywhere. OneXpress app at the heart of the game.
And from Lagos, let's head straight to Abuja, where one-time chairman of Gombe State Football Association, Ahmed Gombe, also joins the show at this time. Thank you for your time with us on the show, Ahmed Gombe.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Yes, 2 years of Ibrahim Gusau as president of the Nigeria Football Federation. He is your friend, you're close to him, you've always said it the way it should be said. Talk to Nigerians. How will you assess? What is your overall assessment of his 2 year stay in office?
Honestly, to be straight with you, I am not really happy with Ibrahim Gusau's approach to leadership of Nigerian football in the last 2 years. I said it when he came into office, that we are going to support him. When I say we, like minds, because I know I have a lot of friends that I've been talking to in the football industry or in the sports industry as such. And we said, okay, let's give him a chance. Let's see what he can do. And I did warn him that this honeymoon will soon be over. National interest above personal interest and above any friendship. Some of us will start talking. And we gave him the chance. And for me, honestly speaking, Gusau has not impressed me. I do not know of you or other stakeholders. I'm saying, speaking my mind, he has not done well. When he came in, we expect him to give a different direction to Nigerian football. First is the issue of the status. This controversial status is as imperfect as Nigerian constitution. Many things are not there. There was a committee that sat down to prepare a master plan on how to make it all inclusive, because the number one problem of Nigerian football, and it will continue to haunt us, is lack of inclusiveness. Many stakeholders were disenfranchised, from the media to administrators to technical officials to fans, name it. It is like a cult. It's like a cult of harmful people controlling, determining, deciding, giving direction to Nigerian football. And they are not doing it well. If they are doing it well, fine. Nobody will bother. Most of us have been in the industry for over 30 years, but we are outside the cycle. We are outside the box. But because it's our fashion, we remain there, we keep on talking. If they can open that status, let me give you an example of Gombe State. All the chairmen of the local councils, as provided by the status, were sports officers of a local government. Some of them cannot tell you how many substitutes do you have in a team, in a football match. But he says a chairman of a local council. They will sit down in a room and say they have elected the chairman of Gombe State Football Association. You disenfranchise people and you keep on controlling who becomes the chairman of Gombe FA. The same thing with the national. In as much as that status is not reworked, is not touched, the trouble will continue. We're only postponing the resolution of the problem, but it will continue to haunt us. This FA chairmen are still the people who can decide who becomes the president of Nigerian football. But we're saying that is wrong. Before, we used to have the FA chairman, we have the club secretaries, we have Premier League clubs, 20 of them. We also have even supporters club were represented. Other interest groups, they are all represented. The military and paramilitary were represented. For goodness sake, the military and paramilitary, they have a lot of teams. Almost all of them, they have football clubs now. You cut those people up. Then the sports medicine, medical people, even psychologists, the media. So it has to be open up the space. And because it's small, that is why if you pocket some few thousands of dollars, you can buy everybody. By the time Nigeria, a country of 200 and something people, or 300 people as it is, you have 200 people in Congress. Before you say you raise the money to bribe everybody, then you must be the governor of Central Bank. And again, if we have that number, large number, it will make you to campaign. Before you become the president of the federation, you know where you are. Secondly, apart from the lack of inclusiveness, there is something wrong with the statutes of Nigerian football. Till today, it has not been domesticated. There is no evidence that it has been domesticated. There are so many, let me tell you, there are more than 15 court judgments, pronouncements from courts about the situation in Nigerian football, but no one has been obeyed. Nobody has obeyed it. So how do you do that? And the Constitution of Nigeria is supreme. It's clear whenever the Constitution of Nigeria and any other document are at par, the Constitution takes precedence. So now, this status is not domesticated, and the law is clear. The Constitution says if any international law is brought into Nigeria, it must be domesticated. If it's not domesticated, it's not effective. It doesn't become effective. It's not binding. So we are just going like that for so many years. Number 3, the legislation is stopped. There are so many public hearings in the National Assembly about Nigerian football. All the reports were kept somewhere. We have refused to, so many times. I have been invited more than 3 times to National Assembly to go and make presentation. I did. So many other stakeholders have done theirs over the years. You understand? Nothing has changed because the National Assembly has a role to play in this matter. But they have not done it, and they are not doing their job.
Yes, former chairman Gombe State Football Association Ahmed Garagumbe saying it's just the way it is. One man that holds no prisoners when it comes to issues of sports in Nigeria. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. My pleasure, Martin.
Take off into a world of casino games and find your new favorites. Play a few rounds of roulette and see if Lady Luck's on your side. Land those winning combinations in slots and take a hefty bite out of that jackpot. Discover much more games on the 1xBet, where fortune awaits.
Yes, interesting. I remember the conversation continues on all our social media platforms on your screen at this time. Let's keep talking sports 24/7. We also like to say thank you to 1xBet for once again making the show possible. I am Matthew Okugbe. Remember, in all you do, continue to keep a positive mindset. Keep praying for yourself, your family, as well as for Nigeria. Bye for now.
Has scored for Nigeria. Goal that wins the first ever footballing gold medal for Nigeria.
Joshua
impressive run to place Edo